We're on.
Trackman, how are you, bro?
Good, brother. You going well?
Good to see you, man.
You too.
You're looking good.
Feeling good?
Is my chair higher than...
Maybe. I'm slouched over.
Have I grown?
You've grown a little bit. 6'1"?
Yeah, you look... I felt your back before. It's pretty strong. You've been on the back. I've been in the weights room a bit too.
Pardon?
I've been in the strong room a bit.
Love that. What exercises?
I do try and do 3 times a week. I do a push. So just everything push. Like bench press... a few other things, and then
press.
pull. So like anything pulling,
Love that.
like those things, and then I do a leg day.
Love that.
Leg day, man,
Now,
so important,
I've
bro.
got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah,
You always comment on Instagram saying if you don't squat, I gotta unfollow you.
Yeah.
I don't squat.
you don't squat.
Trap bar, deadlift.
Well, as long as you leg weight. I was going to say
Well,
you have a. I'll
I have a great
clarify
ass.
that.
I have a great ass.
I'll clarify that on social media. I apologise, but you have very strong trunk. You're quite strong in the glutes.
It comes from my dad. Dad was a national... This is bizarre. Dad was a national swimmer growing up.
Swimmer?
I know, swimmer, which is weird for an Italian man.
Yeah.
And mum was a marathon runner. And I have 2 older brothers, and we all got dad's genes. Not one has an endurance bone in their body.
Really?
So, yeah, there's...
On that, is your, like, when you actually talk about your strength, though, because I think we were talking about this nearly last time, you don't do much weights, do you? Because you get sort of...
I don't do much, like, lifting.
Yeah.
I do more, like, explosive power work. So, trap bar, deadlift stuff. It's very low reps, 5 sets of 3, but it's about pushing or pulling the bar as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So I'll never, like, extend to my max range with, like, even, like, bench press. Like, I won't do a ridiculous weight.
Yeah.
But I'll be all about pushing and pulling the bar as quickly as possible and moving the bar as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Our Tommy Turner, our high performance guy, he's from Ireland. He's amazing. So a lot of the stuff is on explosiveness, working on my strengths, which has been great.
Have you found that, like, you can change that so quickly, like, with what you've been doing? Because even, like, I know this sounds very stupid. I don't want to talk about me squatting the whole episode, but I'm getting back into my running, and I've already found from, like, literally doing squats for, like, a month.
You're a nice ass.
I don't have a nice ass, but I don't know if it's, like, placebo or not, but I just feel so much stronger in my body.
Well, yeah, because you're doing squats.
Yeah. That's a good point, man. That's a really good point.
That was being a smart ass. No, I agree with you. I definitely think I noticed a direct correlation between like an exercise I'm doing for a long period of time and how much it transitions into footy or into life. Like I've been doing Pilates for a year or so now.
Yeah.
And I reckon the first 4 or 5 weeks, you don't really notice an impact or a difference. But then once you start to get into your routine and start to build a habit around it, I reckon that's when you start to see the signs and the positives out of it.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Well, this is it's sort of a loaded question, but basically we'll talk a lot about a lot of things today, but I think 2 things that I love about you the most is one is holistically your content. And like, I feel like I just watch what you do. I love that insight into seeing what elite athletes do. And I don't know why no one else is really doing the way that you do it at the moment. But a part of that has been the training in the off seasons with like the Red Bull camps, all those bits and pieces. And it's so interesting because the exercise that you might be learning when you go and doing these things and working with all these people, they're so different to what you'd be doing at the club, no? Like, do you bring back exercises and do them yourselves or?
Not really, to be honest. I think Australian high performance is honestly the best in the world. Like we are amazing. We are so up to date. So ahead of our time in terms of overseas stuff. I think I'll touch on the Red Bull camp. Like the thing I love about it the most is the fact that, with part of footy clubs, there's 43 boys or 44 boys to 3 physios, 1 gym coach, strength and conditioning coach. So you don't get the undivided attention that you desperately crave. So I think that's why when I go over there, I have a little trip before it with my fiance, for 3 or 4 weeks, and that's kind of where I start my transition back into pre-season and off-season, is that Red Bull camp where I have 7 days to where they kind of check up on my body, check every little part of me, what's going on, and probably pick up things that, I guess, and I'm not trying to pot the physios here, but because they've got so many other people to work on.
44 other players.
Well, it's hard. It's hard. And soft cap as well with COVID has actually affected that. So me having the luxury of going over to Red Bull is amazing. The ability to see and work on things that, the physios might have missed, like a lot of feet stuff and do a lot of explosive power stuff. But also, I always keep the club in the loop too. So I always tell them, I'm going over here. We always have a Zoom call with the high performance from there and Red Bull, talking about what we can work on. what are the strengths they want to see out of me, and what we're working on from the footy club. So it's always very transparent. It's not I'll just go over by myself and just do it. But it's so much fun. I absolutely love it. And training with Travis Boak, who
So cool.
like 19 seasons in the game, 346 games, like it only really speaks for itself. It's pretty amazing the way he prepares and trains his body.
What have you got out of training with him and just meeting him as a person? Like, I'd love to sit down with him one day, and it is in the works to purely get him on, but I'd just love to just pick his brain on things.
I think the biggest thing, he goes by a motto like, I'm human first.
Yeah.
And I just think that resonates with him so well. Like, he's such an amazing, gorgeous man. He's very good looking man.
Yeah.
35, very good looking man.
Mm-hmm. Is he married?
No. Single man too. Yeah, had to pull Bell away a little bit. It was a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that.
I'm
Yeah,
really joking.
Yeah, no. I won't tell
I had Bella to pull me away, to be honest.
Yeah, he is handsome.
He's just an incredible person. Like, to be like, I'm already sometimes struggling with it now. Like, I'm 10 seasons in, and
Yeah.
the motivational levels, like, you have to constantly bring in fresh new ideas. For him to be 19 seasons in, but I feel like for him, it's his balance away from the game, and he's able to switch off, do other things, find passions away from the game. Like, I think he's off 5 or 6 off golf. He loves spending time with his family. Like, his brother-in-law came with him for the whole 4 weeks.
Late.
Then after my trip, he went overseas, went to LA, trained with Horn Francis. Like, he's just incredible at giving back to the younger guys. And he's just a special, special human.
Yeah, I love what he's been doing off field, and I love that, like, what you guys, when you go away, and especially the documentation of it too, and all that sort of stuff. I feel like between you and him, really pushing forward that escapade at the moment of like content. Is escapade the right word?
Yeah, run with it.
I reckon
Escapade.
that
Spell
content. Don't worry about that. What I think though, I would do, right, if I was you, and I wanted to talk about this like for so long with people, and I think you're the one that would be perfect to do. Like, with your content, how do you get that up? And like, is there a strategy around it? Do you have someone helping you with it? Because what annoys me now, and I was almost, speaking to Sam Walsh about this the other week, and also like Cripper's one that I've really wanted them to do this, and it's like anyone that's on good money in AFL, and like, let's be honest, like, it's great money to be an athlete if you're at the top of your game, which you sort of 3 are leading players in the competition. I just think, like, why these other guys, unless they don't want that lifestyle, which I can totally understand, but why you wouldn't invest in hiring your own videographer that follows you around, shoots your content, gives you an insight into what you do. Like, people will make that money back in tenfold once they grow their profiles, be able to monetize things, and also just have awesome content about their life and what they do.
Yeah, it's been absolutely insane. Like, I'll touch on a little bit probably from the athlete side of you. Like, initially when I started this content stuff with Bella.
Yes. Wait, to give context, sorry. Since we caught up last in 2020.
Yes.
Just to give context to people,
go.
you had, I remember in that conversation, we're talking about you were just posting photos of sneakers and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So there was no on track, there was no video content, there was no training content, there was no collaboration post with Melbourne. There was nothing like that. I wish we took a screenshot of like the follow account, which would still been around the 50,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now it's at what?
Which account?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like,
Well, the cookie one's at 100.
the cookie one's fucked.
173,000.
173,000.
And the
73.
on track, my one's at 150ish, and TikTok's at like 250. So it's actually, I'm
How
gonna swear,
cool is
I'm gonna
that, though?
swear, but it's actually fucked.
It's
Like, I can't-
amazing
it's
to like go
really-
back, and we, like, you said you were going to do it then, and it's just so cool to see what's happened.
It's really funny the transition I've gone through from starting it to where I am now.
Yeah.
I think initially when Bella, my fiance, proposed the idea, hey, why don't we?
I think Bella's the
she
secret
is
behind.
the sole reason.
She's the recipe here. She's the salt and pepper.
She's everything.
She's the lamb shank.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Just go with it.
She's everything.
She's a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
I know her well, sort of.
How?
Just from just meeting her with you. I just love her. I feel like we have a good connection.
Look at us, huh?
Oh, look at us. Sorry, man. Bella.
Anyway,
so
sorry.
yeah. So she, what did she say? She's Christian.
She's
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a lawyer by trade. It's not even her realm.
she's a full-time lawyer.
Yeah.
Works at a mid to top tier law firm in IT, innovation and tech. Very, very smart girl. So initially she started it, and she kind of said, I reckon we should do this. You're really passionate in cooking. I think we should start something. Maybe your brands want to be on TikTok because that's the platform that's kind of trending in the right direction. Instagram's slowly dying. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, like Instagram wasn't doing reels. TikTok was really leading that charge in that way. So we started a TikTok around cooking, and the first few videos just blew up. So, and then from there, it's just kind of like a transition period into now. Like the last 2 years has just gone absolutely berserk, and it's been so much fun. Like I'm absolutely loving it. And yeah, as I said, Bella's the sole reason why this is happening. She produces, edits, cuts, videos me while I'm cooking, reads all the contracts with the paid partnerships that we do too. So she's absolutely incredible. And we will probably eventually have someone come in and help us with that content, as you said. But I think for me, from an athlete's point of view, like I'm always conscious of what I eat and my training standards and the habits and routines around days off and stuff. So the biggest thing for me was producing that content and showing audience, this is what I do, and that healthy eating doesn't have to be boring. And I'm very passionate about cooking. I absolutely love it. I do it every day. But it's been so much fun. Like I'm really enjoying the content. And I guess for me, early on in my career, I never had the knowledge or the education around food and around routines or habits. Where the last 4 or 5 years, I've really seen a direct correlation to what I've invested in myself from a nutritional point of view, but then also from a recovery and everything has actually directly correlated into my performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really good fun.
Do you know what I love about, there's so many things I love about what you said, but one thing that I think goes unnoticed that people might not know, and I wonder if you agree with this, is like content, especially to a public platform, is incredible, right? Builds community. It's really cool to show what you're doing, and it's authentic, right? Like everything you're doing, you do anyway. But the best thing about content and why I love doing the pod and all this stuff is it keeps me so accountable. Like, you know what it's like? If you're not filming something, like you don't have to do it, but like you have to do it. Like sometimes you're probably like, oh fuck, let's do Uber Eats tonight. It's like, but no, let's film some more content. We've got the community that love what we're doing. It keeps you accountable to what you actually have to do.
You're 100% right. And I don't see that from a pressure point of view. Like I don't see I have to, you know, go and do all this and this from an individual point of view, or we have to win this. Like for me, I see it as like it holds me to a standard that I have to achieve every year, which it actually sees it more as an excitement rather than a pressure. 100%. Like I love the fact that, you know, I love the fact that I get to go out and train. Like this is my job. I get paid to kick a footy. Like when you break it down, it's a bloody pretty good job.
Yeah, it's a great job.
So everything around it actually comes quite natural and easy. Like I cook every night, so I may as well record it. Or on my days off, I go and do those things. So I love doing that. And I love showing the audience, this is what I do and this is what a professional athlete, how he recovers and how he prepares and trains for games. And early on when I started posting all the TikToks and stuff, I was like, oh, this is a bit cringe. Like you would have probably felt it too. Like when you start to post stuff. Yeah, I think it's just that vulnerability. Like I think early on when I started posting this stuff, I just found it really like cringe. I was like, oh, what am I doing? Footy, you know what footy clubs are like. Oh, what do you think you're doing, mate? But now over the last 2 years, I think the content's gone a lot better.
You got to start somewhere, man.
You have to start somewhere.
And you have to, like, this is the, you know, I feel sometimes a bit repetitive when we talk about this stuff, but it is so common. It's such a common story of like, you start something, you're embarrassed by it. It's like, if you're not embarrassed by it when you started too late.
Yeah.
So like, get the fuck over it. No one gives a fuck.
No one
what
actually
you do, man.
No one actually gives a fuck.
No one fucking cares. And I think that's my one message this year. I'll probably say it every episode. In the nicest way possible, no one fucking cares what you do. It's all how you perceive it in yourself. So if you're going to think like, oh, I'm an idiot for doing this, you probably will be an idiot for doing it.
Yep.
If you just back yourself in and say, fuck this, I'm going to do it, people get out of your way.
Shit,
get out of your way, man. You ready? Yeah, exactly.
Holy crap.
Thanks, man.
That's respect right there.
Thank you. No, but it's so true. And until you just get the reps on the board and you start improving your content or improving your business, whatever you're doing, people love it.
Holy shit.
And now people on the back are like, probably message you teammates or opposition players on the field probably come up and say, mate, I saw that recipe. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's very funny. I won't go into details, but I had a player come up to me. Nah, I don't want to.
Go into detail.
No,
who was it?
No, early on, I copped a lot of shit for it.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of say to opposition players like about TikTok and stuff.
Mate, I saw what was on I messaged you about the other day. It was in the slow cooker. You cooked like the dumplings or something.
The slow cooker dumplings.
Yeah,
you like that?
Yeah, they looked really good.
But now teammates are starting to cook my stuff. They send me photos. I know opposition players send me photos too, which is really nice. Like it's actually really. I sometimes go, what the hell have I created?
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really special.
And you know, I think that's fantastic. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Matt.
Can I ask, with your not taking anything away from footy, because I know that's your number one thing. And do you now look at yourself with the stuff you've been able to build off the field and go like, okay, well, footy is one thing of what I do, but now I've got, this side of my life too, which you can honestly, like, this could be just a direct pathway out of AFL for you that keeps it sustainable for life and builds something pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
Do you think about that?
Definitely. Like, I always want to keep my main thing. Yeah. So football will always be my number one priority. But the best thing that I feel like I'm creating is a health and wellness type brand.
Yeah.
And for me, it correlates and it coincides with football. So what I'm creating away from the game with my brand and my image is just actually helping my footy. Yeah. And that's what I love about it. So everything that we do, a lot of people ask us, how do you have the time to film, and how do you have the time to do all this? Well, I do it anyway, because this is what I have to do to perform each week. So that's why I like to show that to my audience, that this is what I do from a health and wellness point of view. This is how I recover. This is the routines I've created. And I think early on in my career, as I said before, but I never had those routines down pat. I never had the habits. I didn't know what it was like to be a 24/7 athlete.
Yeah.
When now I see those benefits on game day of all the work that I do from Monday to Friday. And I feel like as you get older as well, like I've started to appreciate my job more and more, and I just absolutely love it. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, I love coming in each day, seeing all the boys, talking absolute crap, taking the piss out of each other, but then also working really hard. Like, it's just great.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I can completely agree. And I think different stories, obviously, but like, even when you get a little bit older, and I'm 30, so then what are you, 26?
28.
28.
I know.
Yeah, you're a big boy. But you get to that stage where you start actually thinking, and I don't know if you're there yet, but like, I'm a dad now, and it's like, the reason I'm somewhat miss footy is just the sense of you actually do get paid to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And like, I love now trying it. I don't love it, but I have to work out, not just for like physical health, but like mental health, sweating, like getting all those bad energies out, like getting good.
Bad energy, bro.
Well, I have this really weird thing where when I run, I imagine like sweat is negative juice dripping out of my body. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So I'm sweating. There's like these droplets, and I'm thinking I'm breathing in fresh energy and sweating out the bad toxins out of myself.
I really like that.
So it's just a bit of an analogy for myself.
I might use that tomorrow when I'm running.
You can use that. But it's just how important it is to me. So I'd say to people out there that don't get paid for a living, Mondays now, you'll love this, Mondays at 10 a.m, I sit down with myself. I have a checklist of things that I go through. And it's like, where am I moving this week? And I want to try and do 3 runs, 3 gym, because we're planning for the marathon this year. What
Which
am I eating?
Melbourne Marathon?
Gold Coast.
Love that.
In July 6th.
And then go to Capital. What's the...
Cavalav.
Yeah,
after. Cavalav, and go to Ripley's and Ripley's, believe it or not, surf, dive and ski, wet and wild, wherever you want. I'll have to ask Maisie where's good to go, Hog's Breath Cafe.
Hog's Breath.
And yeah, so where I'm doing all those. And the other thing I really want to do that I've done this year, and I know you're doing a little bit with Max Viney, is for the last few years I've always said to myself, I want to do something that I fucking hate. And I couldn't think of anything more that I hated doing when I was playing than jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So now I've started doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I did one session I've only done one session, but I'm going to get like an 8-session pass with my mate and go with Max, just do like our sessions. But man, I loved it. It was awesome.
It's so much fun.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's bloody tough.
And I think, like, back to my content with that, like, that's the reason why I guess I feel like I have a strong relationship with my audience, because a lot of the stuff I do, or the content I produce, is 15, 20-minute recipes for people who have no time, who are very time poor, and to actually show them like that healthy eating, as you said, doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah,
like you can jazz things up, and everyone is so time poor that I don't even want to be in the kitchen for an hour to an hour and a half, and finding new ways of mentally stimulating yourself, like challenges, doing different things. Like, the jiu-jitsu is so much fun. Like, I did it all of last year and it's awesome. Like, it's so much fun. It's hard.
It's hard as.
You're moving your body in positions that you would never have before.
What are you doing this year? What will your sort of like routine be through the season on top of training? Like, even if it's like sessions or Pilates, like what are you doing outside of?
I like to keep things pretty relatively similar to the last 4 or 5 years. Like, I don't like to change what I'm doing. I do like to tweak things here and there and try and find fresh new ideas, or challenges to kind of help me throughout the year. Like last year I did the jiu-jitsu. This year I've got a stretching coach who's out in Bentley who's been amazing. Like really enjoyed all that type of stuff.
Talk me through that, man. Stretching's so important.
I love it. I really
hate it.
It's hard. Well, that's the thing. It's hard because it's about getting your body into positions that are so deep in that position that are so tough. And there's a difference between stretching and mobility. Stretching is a lot more static stuff, which I think for me as an athlete, I'm a very stiff, powerful athlete. Static stretching isn't actually as helpful as mobility and dynamic movement, which is probably what more I'm doing. I'm doing more dynamic movement, how to become more powerful, but also, put my body in positions during the game at stoppages, changing directions, little things like that. So my coach or my stretching coach has been incredible with helping me with my hips, opening up my hips, my glutes. Glutes is key, man. As you said, squats
and hips.
So I'm doing a bit of that, but then I love yoga. I go to this
Bikram
place.
Or just like a...
No, I love the mindful aspect of it. I don't really like the physical side of it. Like I love moving my body, but I love more the breath, the positions,
breathing in those hard spots and stuff.
And just it's actually really challenging too. Like I go in there and there's probably 40 mums and 2 guys, and they are so bloody good at it. Like it's amazing. So I love that aspect, that it's really challenging, but then also kind of switching off, getting off my phone.
Yeah.
Using the breath through positions. So I really enjoy that aspect too.
Man, the stretching thing, like, I'm so interested in that because one thing I always personally have really struggled with is flexibility. Like, I'm a very unflexible person, but it's crazy how much strength you can build from being flexible as well and getting your body in different positions. And I went to this stretching class once. This is no joke because I've never heard anyone else talk about it, where like they strap you into a bed and stretch you.
What's that? Jesus.
Is that not what you're doing, or how do they stretch you? Because this one, like, I was on my back, right, and they like tape in your like legs and everything, and then they'll like stretch your hammy and stuff, so you like stay in that position. Yeah, it was like a stretch bed.
Never done that before. Well, that's full on.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was good, but stretching's important.
No, it is. You're very funny.
Stretching is important, Darcy. It is.
For me though, it's a fine, again, everything's a fine, like it's a fine line for me. Like I'm very hypermobile already.
Right, okay.
And the opposite of being stiff, because a lot of the stuff we work on these days at the club is power, stiffness, explosiveness, short bursts. That's the way I play. That's my strengths. Yeah. And the opposite of that is being very hypermobile, very fluid with your movement. So it's almost a fine line. So that's why I don't do much static stretching. I do more dynamic movement, being in positions that I would be in a game to help me with that. But I think stretching is one of the most underrated forms of recovery. Like I actually love it. Like I sit in front of the couch, I sit in front of the TV with a roller, with a TheraBand, like things like that, and just kind of just do it and it just kills time. It's really good for you, especially in the morning. Like at night, I do it before I go to bed. I always do 15 to 20 minutes before I go to bed. And then in the morning, I actually wake up feeling way less stiffer than had I previously not done it.
I think it's like easily one of the biggest 1%ers you can do that no one else does. Yeah. I don't know many people who stretch. I don't know why you're laughing, but I just like stretch. I think that it's something I go back now and regret not stretching.
Come to a session with me.
I'd love to.
It's pretty solid.
I know. I've been to
I'm
one.
trying to learn to. I want to learn to do the splits.
Oh fuck yeah! That'll be hard.
Well, look at Novak. I mean, Australian Open at the moment. He is the most flexible person I've ever seen. He's incredible.
Yeah, I'd love to come to that. We should definitely work on that. Hey, Dees.
Yep.
Go to Dees.
The Dees.
How you going? How's the Dees going?
Good, man. It's good. It's in pre-season at the moment.
Yeah, to Casey.
Boys are flying.
Are they?
As every.
Yeah.
Who are your mates? Who are your mates that do that?
I don't have many mates these days.
No, the content producers
Kick
from
it forward.
Perth.
Oh, kick it forward. Oh, they're the best.
Training the house down.
Yeah, and then the house explodes. Mate, they're so good.
It's actually facts though, which is very funny.
Who is training the house down at the moment? Who would you say?
Everyone.
Van Ruin?
Yeah, he's looking strong.
Man.
He's looking strong. We're actually we're in a very good spot. Yeah. I mean, it's already. You know what the crazy thing about this year? It's already nearly end of Feb.
Season's nearly started.
And we what this round 0 now. So we start a week, 2 weeks early, which we love because now we do more match sim earlier into Jan. So we're already pretty much doing 2 blocks of match sim, which is awesome. We love that.
How's the before we get into personal goals and stuff for the year, like team wise and goals, like how's the new guys coming in? So you got Shane McAdam and
Shane McAdam. We've got Jack Billings.
That's
they've settled in great.
Yeah.
They've been awesome.
Was Billings in your draft?
Year older than me.
Year older.
Yeah.
Just pick 3.
Salem's.
Pick 3? Pick 1, 2 or 3 or 4?
I think it was pick 2.
Maybe 5?
No, Josh Kelly was 2.
Maybe 3.
3.
Anyway, high pick. So he's got some... He's
amazing. Yeah, he's settled in so well.
Yeah, he's obviously got what it takes to play the game, but new system, new game, who knows what could be happening this year.
He's been... from what we've seen over the last 2 months, he's been awesome. And Shane McAdam is also a live wire. He's just amazing. So they both add a bit of X factor to our forward line, which we love. Shane will play predominantly forward. He's been incredible in the preseason. And his highlights at Adelaide were pretty special. He plays such a strong role for them. Legit.
Yeah.
And JB, his kicking is awesome. Probably something that we need at the footy club is
inside
someone
50s.
Who inside 50. Darcy probably is Melbourne Sporty, probably potting off.
I'm loving this so much.
Yeah. How do you think you'll go this year with Van Ruin and who else is forward? I've forgotten his name.
Petty.
I love Petty,
would
by
be
the way.
good.
So, but do you think that's strong enough to win a flag?
Yep.
I think it is too. There's a loaded question. Because you look at Collingwood and they had Maya Check and McStay and have some really good small forwards around there as well.
To be honest, it kind of frustrates me when the commentary around our forward line has been questioned. We don't have a forward. Who are we kicking to? But to be honest, it's actually the kickers. I need to get better at kicking the ball inside 50. As midfielders, the onus is on us. We're the ones who need to actually hit the targets. My kicking is something as a personal goal, is something I'm really trying to improve on. My goal kicking too. So, the forward line, everyone in the AFL is talented. Yeah. And we'd like to have a 6'11" full forward. But Van Ruin's only 21 years old. Petty's 24. And his last 11 games, bar being injured, kicked 7 against Richmond, kicked 4 against North at halftime, was injured then. He's going to be a special player for us. And I think for that as well, having that relationship and building it over the preseason is going to be really beneficial come the season.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. I'm really pumped for it. Would you say the last few years, team-wise, have been a disappointment? It's a hard question.
It's a hard question because, I would... Yeah, far out. Yes and no, to be honest. Yeah. It is so hard to win a premiership. It is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse for how we've performed in 4 finals. It has been devastating the last two years, especially probably last year where I felt like we had a lot of momentum going into the season. I think we won 4 or 5 in a row, beat Sydney up there, and then we lost obviously Collingwood and Carlton. I think it was more the way we lost them. I felt like we played really well both games. Again, just didn't take our chances. But both games were actually so amazing to be a part of. Collingwood crowd, Carlton crowd. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
To be a part of those games was such a special feeling. Devastating after it, but awesome to be a part of it. And I sit back here and I go, it is really frustrating, but the beauty about footy, I'm a very optimistic person. The best thing about footy is it's always next year. I don't know, it's a very throwaway line, but the Olympics, the Olympics is every 4 years. Footy, the best thing about it is we're next year.
Yeah. And
it's so exciting. I think for me, I'm using this as fuel, adversity, putting ourselves in those situations. And I don't want to be put in a situation like that again because it's bloody gut wrenching and it's tough. And seeing all the comments and stuff, straight sets, it's hilarious. I find it flattening, hilarious at the same time, but it's fuck, well, that's reality, really. We have. So kind of fair enough. We deserve to kind of get it. But at the same time, don't like it when they're testing or questioning us as a football club. We've been there. We have three top 4s in a row. We're on a premiership, top 4. Yes, we haven't won a final in 2 years, but to back up that consistency is pretty good. So I think that's kind of our messaging over the last preseason is kind of, we don't have to change much. 95% of the stuff we're doing is awesome. It's just tweaking things, having that 5%. Can we improve? What are the things that we can improve on? Yeah.
The culture stuff at the moment, I really don't like that word. It's an annoying word. I want something different, but obviously there's been some things happening off field at the Dees at the moment. Is that distracting, or is it you get in there, you're with each other each day, there's a mission ahead, and you go, you know what, park this, let's let our things down and just go and focus on what we need to focus on?
Yeah, it's been interesting. 4 months? How long have we been off for? 4 months? I won't touch on the individuals or the stuff, the individual scenarios. I think I'll holistically point of view, culture is something that you always have to work on. It's never going to be perfect. 2021, we had a great year. Was it perfect? No. So every single year, you can't just go, oh, we've had a great culture, we have to forget about it. It's a constant thing that you have to work on every single year. You have to pick up on things. You have to hold guys accountable, have to be transparent. I need to be better as a leader. And also being honest and vulnerable with each other at the same time. So I think from that point of view, like we've come into this preseason really open-minded, going, we don't want to be what we were last year. That sucked from an on-field point of view, but then also off-field. We weren't connected as well as we felt like we were. So what are things that we can do to change and help this culture? Because, the last two finals, when the pressure mounted, we crumbled, which is reality. And that I don't necessarily think stems from skills or football. I think that's from an off-field point of view. How can we become the most united and connected group? Look at Collingwood, the way they connect with their fans, the way they engage with each other, the way they celebrate the little things. Like Oleg Markov comes in, does one spoil, how they get around each other, how they celebrate. And I think we've gone away from that over the last 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 years, especially. And these are things that are really controllable. They're not uncontrollable. These are things that actually require minimal effort. It's about celebrating your teammate and wanting the best for each other. And I'm not saying we're not doing that. I think we can do that. I think we are doing that, but I still think we can take it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
But then also think from a leadership point of view, like I need to be better as a leader. I need to stand up in big moments better. I wouldn't say like taking the game on my shoulders or anything, like not like that. Actually kind of doing the opposite, trusting my teammates around me to do the role better. We've got such a talented team. So not relying on one person or two people, actually all having each other as a back, not actually doing more than we need to, keeping the things really simple. Because when you get to those situations, I feel like, or someone else feels like, shit, I need to win this ground ball or whatever. It's actually just taking a step back, keeping things really simple, under pressure. Yeah,
it's a great answer. I love what you said there, and it reminds me of when Bolts, who worked a lot with Hawthorn through that time, always used to say, like, when the game's in the balance, it's actually just who can do the fundamentals the best. And sometimes when you're like up and coming and you want to put the game on your own shoulders and stuff, it actually fucks things the most because everyone's trying to play to a system. So if one person's trying to win the game themselves, like it can actually deter what's happening. And that's why they reckon Luke Hodge was so good. Because like in those moments, he just went straight back to like system. And it was just like, nah, let's stick to this of the old. And that's why they were so successful, which is really interesting. Serious one. Obviously you're like, you've adapted. Like, man, it's so cool to talk to you now. And obviously we've had a relationship since then, but like I think back to that first pod and who you were then versus now, like you said, Premiership player, 3-time All-Australian. 4-time All-Australian and Norm Smith medalist. You're engaged.
I know.
Like, you've grown up so much in that time.
Thanks so much, man.
But it's really cool to see.
You're a dad?
I've grown up too. But
how crazy.
It's cool to see now, like, that you're really... Oh, actually, the question is, do you really want to take that leadership route?
Yeah,
Is that something that you're really... Because it's interesting, right? Just because you're a good player, not just you, but just in general, do you reckon sometimes those really good players get forced into leadership positions they don't necessarily need or want? And it's like, you look at how they've done stuff with Dustin Martin, for example. Like, I feel like years ago they would have just made him captain because he's the best player. But now they're like, nah, just let him fucking do his thing. I like that. But with you actually want to transition into leadership?
Yeah, I do. I love being a leader at the footy club. I think for me, it holds me again to a standard that I want to play at each week. And there's no greater leader than the ones who perform on game day, like Gorney, Jack Viney, Jake Lever. Like, these guys are part of our leadership group, I guess, and they're amazing. Like, the way they perform on game day is incredible. Like, Jack Viney and is the way he attacks the footy. Like, how can you not get inspired from the way he does that? And Max as well, like 32 years old, but still at the top of his game, and the way he kind of conducts himself around the game, around the club is really special. And I think the biggest thing, probably from a leadership point of view, is like, just because you get a title or just because you're named captain, you don't need to change what you're doing. Like, the reason why you're voted in because of that is because people love who you are and what you're doing. So for me, I'm a massive extrovert. I love getting around the people. I'm a very positive person. I love having fun. And that's my way of providing leadership to the club? Can I get better at being honest and direct with my feedback? Yes. But that's more for game day stuff and things that I see. So I need to get better at that. But on game day, it's also, as I said before, like another form of leadership is actually taking a step back and allowing guys to flourish in their roles. Like we've got guys like Tom Sparrow coming through, Spargs, Charlie Spargo. We've got so many midfielders and younger guys who have Kay Chandler, Cozzy Pickett. It's also actually taking a step back, like myself, sacrificing a little bit, playing more forward for letting these guys play because they're only going to help me, but they're also going to help the footy club.
Do you want to be captain?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't need it now.
No, not at the moment, but in the future, you'd like to have that.
It'd be pretty cool. What do you think? Mate, would you captain Carlton?
Would I versus could I is probably two.
If you had the chance.
Yeah. Looking back, not that I ever had that opportunity. I think the question was a bit smart-ass, but I will answer it in a serious... No, it was... I actually don't think I would want to be captain. Like, I think there's a lot fucking to it that people don't understand with leaders, how busy you have to be off the field.
There's a lot of commitments you have to go to and attend. Yeah. It's pretty full on.
Yeah, and it's not even...
Sorry, I didn't mean to be a smart-ass.
No,
that's shit from me.
I'm joking. I like that. I don't think I would want to be captain, though. I like being captain of this team.
Darce is a great point guard.
He's a good... I've heard that he's...
David brought that up.
You guys like your basketball.
Did you know? So
no, I'm aware you played for Knox or something.
He played for Knox. Earlier, yeah. I was bullying
Temp.
I used to post him up, but then he used to kind of get me on fast breaks.
Hell of a rivalry.
Sorry,
it was a hell of a... We used to have punch-ons. What would be your go-to cook, your meal?
I'm actually getting back into... I'm eating meat now, again.
Love that.
So I was veggie... I don't like to...
Is that because you're missus or because...
Yeah, just like general...
Did you say flexitarian?
Yeah. So that just means like mainly plant-based dish.
But when she's not around, you eat
No,
meat.
well, we're both back on sort of like at least one steak or chicken a week and fish.
Okay, cool.
So
I like that.
Anyway, I'm good at steaks.
Nice.
So
medium rare?
Steak, yeah.
What type of steak?
I feel it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like it too fatty.
I like Scotch fillet.
That's fatty. You know what I cooked once? An ossobuco. It was a long time ago. But
nice.
I did that.
Ossobuco,
yeah. I can do a good... I'm pretty good at cooking, man. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to do the one where we do the like good chef, bad chef. No, sorry.
Ready, steady, cook.
Ready, steady, cook, where we...
Is it capsicum and apples? No, it's green capsicum.
Green and red capsicum. And then like they bring us stuff and we have to make it...
Like a little mystery box.
Creative and be like, what are you going to cook with this? Which is cool. Have you read or watched anything lately that you've liked and you want to share with us? Did you read the Eckhart Tolle book, Power of Now?
Yes. And I reckon I've read it 3-4 times.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you went I saw him live.
With Ali?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. With Ali. So we both love Ali.
Yeah.
One of the greatest guys of all time.
Ali Try, yeah.
It was absolutely incredible.
Can you just give a brief rundown to people who haven't read the book, what you got out of it, what it's about, and would you recommend it to other people?
I think the book title speaks for itself, The Power of Now. And it's all about being as present in the moment as possible. Worrying or, focusing on things that you're doing right now, the task at hand. But it's also going on a deeper level. Like as I'm speaking to you, what do you look like? What are the things? What are the surroundings? And all that type of stuff. It really is a special book. I feel like LeBron now. You know when he just talks about books and he actually doesn't even know?
He doesn't read them? He goes, that's one of my favorite books.
He's a very smart man.
It is quite hard to explain the book.
It is hard to explain, but it's about being present, perspective taking, and even listening to him speak. Like he was supposed to come on at 7 o'clock. He came on at like 7:05, and he sat in his chair for 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes. And just stared at the room. It didn't even...
Just took in things.
And it was really powerful because he was like, wow, he's just taking everything in. And I feel like these days, our mind races. We've got so many things that are pulling us away from the present. Our phones, people, distractions constantly. Like even... And I kind of related towards my performance when I'm playing MCG, 90,000 people in a final. How can I become solely focused on what I'm doing in the present and having my cues to help me stay in control of what I'm doing? So I love that book. Another book I've read is by George Mumford called The Mindful Athlete.
Okay.
Which is, write that down, which is absolutely incredible. So he was He was the meditation and mindfulness coach for the Chicago Bulls.
I've seen this.
And Kobe Bryant's individual mindfulness coach.
Yeah.
Incredible story. I won't give away too much, but basically it's about Kobe Bryant and the Bulls and how they tapped into the meditation and the mindful aspect of performance and how much it helped both of them.
Wow.
He was he was in jail. Jail or rehab.
George Mumford.
George Mumford. I think he was in jail, and the way he helped get out of, I think he was in rehab actually. I don't know, one or the other. Sorry. The way he helped overcome that situation. Actually, it was rehab. The way he overcame that situation is by tapping into meditation and mindfulness and breathing, and then from there, the coach of the Bulls at the time, Jesus Christ, I forgot what his name is.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. Oh my God, only won 11 championships. He hired him and Michael Jordan. So that's an incredible book.
Yeah, fuck, that sounds unbelievable.
Podcasts?
On that Power of Now, is it in there about mindful eating? Have you ever heard of this exercise? Because I do this with Ali all the time.
Well, I think it's about just everything that you're doing, just being really, really present.
Have you ever done the mindful eating thing?
No.
So when we go out with Ali, and for those who don't know Ali, I've done 2 podcasts with him now. Go listen to those episodes. He's just like this guru of life. And long story short, we'll go out for dinner and we order this stuff to the table. And it's like, for the first few minutes, he doesn't let me pick it up. You just have to stare at the food and you examine the colors. You can just turn the plate around and look at it. And then for the next bit, you just have to hold it in your hand and feel what the food looks like.
So you're touching the food?
Well, just say it's appetite. So you got one bit each. You pick it up and it's all right, that's hard on the outside, soft on the and then you put it up, close your eyes, take a bite, and you're feeling what it feels like in your mouth, the different textures breaking, and then you start tasting it. You're like, oh, okay, I can taste this, I can taste that. Anyway, so it goes from this exercise where normally you pick up an entree, fucking bang, straight in your mouth, eat it, to a 10-minute exercise where you're fully meditating into this piece of food, but you're just, it's mindfulness.
Yeah.
But it's eating.
Yep.
Mindful eating. You can do it with any food, anything. It's
actually really hard, but the more you practice, that's what I find with meditation. Or I wouldn't say meditation. I probably use more mindfulness and body imaging and visualization more than I do meditation.
Yeah.
I can't sit still at all. So for me, it's quite hard. But for me, I relate it back to game day. It's like anything. The more you practice, the more you get better at it. And the hardest thing with meditation or mindfulness is you don't actually see it working or improving. If you do a lot of people who use the analogy, if you do a bicep curl over time, you're going to see improvement, your squats with your ass. It looks really great.
Doesn't look great yet, but it's feeling good. It's feeling very good.
Where the tough thing with anything to do with mental is you don't actually know if it's helping you or not. Yeah. Or I guess improving. But I think over time you start to recognize little things here and there. Definitely during games, I've noticed a huge increase in my awareness levels and my concentration throughout the game. I'm less distracted. I'm less focusing on negative thoughts, focusing on positive, what I can control, things like that. Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Thanks, bro.
I love that. Very, very cool. Goals for this year personally? Any?
Goals for this year.
Be honest.
Win a flag.
Yeah. You want to win a Brownlow?
I don't
It'd
really
be pretty
care.
cool.
I actually don't
I know
really
you
care.
don't care, but it's someone, I think we were speaking to Sam Walsh about this last week. It's if you win a flag, you're actually a chance to win a Brownlow.
Yeah, you know what sucks, man? Honestly, last year, going out in straight sets but winning individual accolades, an All-Australian or Best and Fairest, it actually sucks. And it's really embarrassing, I find. Not embarrassing, that's probably not the right word.
It's not as fulfilling.
It's not as fulfilling. I'm winning awards, but my teammates are not winning anything, and we're out in straight sets. That sucks. And it's for guys that don't get recognition. Part of footy clubs, there's so many people that play their role that don't get any... Jake Bowie, Alex Neil-Bullen, Tom Sparrow.
I love Alex Neil-Bullen.
Guys like that who don't get any external media or noise or recognition, they're the ones that I love the most and I want to play for because, I'm probably going to have some media and noise when I play well, but those guys never do. And that's what sucks when... Yeah, it's nice. I really like the fact that I'm winning awards and stuff, but it's really unfulfilling. Is that the right word? I keep using the right word. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
being up there on best and fairest night and winning the best and fairest, yeah, it feels nice. Like, it's great.
It'd just be better if you...
But it's like, it'd be better if we won. Like, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I suppose you can only control what you can, though, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's what's the hardest thing about the last 2 years. Like, we've had the satisfaction and the success of 2021 and what that was like. That is one of the most amazing
when you felt it, you
feelings.
Want to feel it again.
It was just incredible. So we want to be back at that point, yeah.
It's exciting, man. Darcy, do you like to hear that as a Dees man?
I'm so fucking fizzed up right now.
Fizzed up?
How do you think they're going to go this year?
Flags. But no pressure.
Darcy, how do you actually think they're going to go this year?
Honestly, I reckon the way you were chatting, you think I'm like filthy that we've gone out in straight sets. But really...
That's all right. You can be filthy.
No, after 2021, that was the most incredible year of footy.
Yeah.
You're just like happy anytime there's success now?
I think you want more, though.
Of course you want more, but like...
You know what also sucks? Is that every single man and dog that I know is a Collingwood supporter. I used to be Collingwood. I did love, just quietly.
Collingwood winning was cool, but I don't want them to win again. I don't
just quietly. It was pretty cool seeing Pendlebury win another flag. I mean, obviously I would love to be
no, I can
part
see
of that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
he was one of my idols growing up.
Man, Pendlebury's pretty
the
cool,
goat.
man.
He's the goat.
He's pretty bloody good.
Who did you go for growing up?
Carlton.
Oh, you were Carlton. Oh, no shit, your dad.
Yeah, Carlton. But like... Yeah,
your dad wasn't father-son to GWS?
No. And neither will Max, unfortunately. Those are the needful. But yeah, it hurts.
Hang on, sorry, before we finish.
Yeah.
How is being a dad?
Mate, it's been unbelievable. I'm really excited for you because I saw you...
No, hang on, this is about you now. We're changing
you.
the conversation.
No, it's really good.
Oprah, Barbara Winfrey, your wife.
Yeah.
No, just joking. Sorry.
No. Mate, it's been so good. Like 9 months now.
9 months?
9 months old. Like he's just... I think for me, you know, like I've put a lot of work into myself over the last 2 years, and it took us a while to fall pregnant, and I've spoken about this a lot, but like took us a while to get to where we are, and like in that period of the last 2 years, if I'm reflecting on it, you know, since we've had our last pod, it's like the amount of shit that I've done to just be a better person, to be ready for this moment. And you said there, you don't think you're actually working on, you know, going to a psychologist or doing mental training, all these things. I'm like, fuck, man, like I'm actually in a lot better place and a lot more capable than I ever thought I would be.
Yeah.
So I think it's like...
Man, that's props to you, bro.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm really enjoying it. Like my missus, Juz, like my wife, she's just genuinely unbelievable. Like she just is the, you know, it's very, as you have a beautiful partner too, but when you've got a good thing going on, you realise...
It's incredible.
And someone said to me, I saw this quote, it was like on...
David Goggins?
I don't think it was Goggins, no. I don't think it was him that said this, but whoever it was said, a relationship isn't 50-50.
Wow.
It's 100-100.
Holy crap, bro. You are just coming up with some genuine content right here.
Bangers. Tweet that.
Turn the TikTok camera on.
Yeah. But I agree with that. It's like, you're never going to have full... Like some days she's going to be harder than me and I'm not going to be like doing as much, but then other days I'm this and she... So it's just like, as much as I can say to anyone about relationship, don't like play wars with each other on like who does what and who does what. It's just you're a team.
Yeah.
And as long as you put 100% in each, then that's all that matters.
Fuck, bro.
So it's been good.
That is a great way to finish.
Thank you. I'm excited for you this year, bro. Yeah, we're finished. I'm excited for you this year, genuinely.
Appreciate that. What do you want to see? What do you want me to improve on in the game? Talk to me. Actually, let's ask the Melbourne supporter.
Well, I don't have anything for you. What about he does footy and I do off field?
Love that. You go first.
Okay.
Then.
Have you got anything?
So you're going to ask a guy that's got no idea about footy?
Well, obviously you see it, man. Like, is his inside 50 suck or what?
Yeah.
No, not you. You're perfect.
Oh, stop. I've actually kicked... Hey, do you want to know a really crazy stat? I've kicked 68 behinds in 2 years.
So set shots or on the run?
I think on the run.
Doesn't matter. Opportunities.
Yeah. Hey, love that optimism right there.
Oh, no. Okay, you guys can work at the off-field stuff.
We'll talk about it later.
I'd say off-field, sorry. I'd say I want you to just continue doing what you're doing. I'd love to see you invest in a videographer as a part of your team. And I'd love to see like them follow you at least 2 to 3 days a week.
Love that.
I think we can make that work.
Fuck, you're hot. Love that.
Love that, man. Love you. Hey, best of luck for this year, man.
Appreciate
I'm genuinely
that, bro.
excited and I'm really, really blessed to get you in again.
Appreciate it.
Love what you're doing and yeah, keep it up.
Awesome. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.